quiet as shit. Look at him, dog. I'm
Oscar,
right
any
next to you
response
now,
over
man.
there?
That's
Shakur's
some
asking
money.
for a bet.
Didn't hardly get hit that much. And did exactly what he said.
Wait, the process ain't nothing new. I'm not trying to put on all that muscle and all that extra shit they keep talking about. Skills pay the bill.
Chaos erupts as Shakur Stevenson loses his cool after learning Teofimo Lopez failed his drug test just days before their fight. Shakur's frustration is palpable, and you can feel the tension rising. He is not holding back and lashes out, showing he will not tolerate any nonsense from someone trying to cheat their way to victory. This is more than anger. This is a statement from a fighter who demands respect and fair play.
But when he fights somebody who's a little bit smaller, faster, and the guys is not even that good, like Kambosos, and he has trouble. So for what I've seen, if a guy loses to George Kambosos, I wouldn't lose to him in a million years. On my worst given night, I wouldn't allow George Kambosos to come out victorious against me. So
using performance-enhancing drugs in boxing is extremely dangerous, and it puts everyone in the ring at risk. Fighters like Shakur Stevenson have to be prepared for anything, and it is clear why the integrity of the sport is so important. When someone cheats, it not only affects their opponent, but also the entire competitive landscape of boxing. Safety and fairness are non-negotiable in this sport.
When a guy is taking in performance enhancement drugs, it's just it's dangerous. It's dangerous for.
When a fighter tests positive for performance-enhancing drugs, it shakes the whole sport and makes it hard to trust the results. Eddie Hearn is right in saying that in these cases it is guilty until proven innocent, and this is exactly why fans and fighters like Shakur Stevenson have every reason to be frustrated. Integrity matters, and no one wants a cheater in the ring. The sport depends on fairness and accountability.
Particularly difficult now to take the loss when he was 3.5 pounds over, and the loss that he fought a man who had performance-enhancing drugs in his system. I believe everybody should have the right to protest their innocence. Unfortunately, in this situation, it's guilty until proven innocent. I've been there, right? But one thing we 100% know in this situation.
Jeff Mayweather hits the nail on the head with this one. A failed drug test at this stage is a nightmare for boxing and damages the reputation of everyone involved. It does not matter who the fighter is or who they are facing, this kind of behavior is unacceptable. Fans expect clean fights, and when someone like Teofimo Lopez fails a test, it throws the entire build-up into chaos. Boxing thrives on credibility, and moments like this threaten that credibility.
I just think it's a bad look for boxing. I mean, no matter who did it, but to be in a fight of this magnitude, and first, I thought he fooled everyone by just playing crazy.
Eddie Hearn's insight shows just how rare and shocking the situation is. A fighter testing positive just days before a big bout is a nightmare scenario, and it leaves no time for resolution. Teofimo Lopez is facing scrutiny like never before, and it is clear that Shakur Stevenson can use this moment as a psychological edge. The timing is disastrous, and it puts everyone on high alert about safety and fairness in the sport.
The amount
tested positive for two substances, right?
Yeah, I believe that.
Did the second one get confirmed?
I don't think it did. No, I think it was just Osterine.
It is wild to see Gervonta Davis defending Teofimo Lopez, despite the shocking failed test. The speed of the test results coming back has raised eyebrows and questions about how thorough the process was. Even with backing from big names, the fact remains that the substances were detected, and this casts serious doubt on Teofimo Lopez's credibility. Shakur Stevenson is now facing an opponent whose reputation is tarnished and whose focus may be compromised.
And you see how as soon as why didn't it take 72 hours for the test to come back, right?
Came back after the fight, yeah.
Right. So why ain't come out?
Carlos Balderas is putting it perfectly. Shakur Stevenson's defensive brilliance and technical skill make him a clear favorite against Teofimo Lopez. Even with Lopez's power and aggression, his mindset will be shaken after the failed drug test. Shakur Stevenson has shown he can handle pressure and capitalize on mistakes, and this situation plays straight into his hands. Fans are seeing a scenario where skill and composure outweigh raw power, and mental toughness could decide the outcome.
What about Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson? I got Shakur all day. I'm actually going to bet some of the guys here too because they're betting on Teofimo, but I got Shakur winning. I don't see it being a complete blowout, but I do see Shakur beating him decisively. He's a beast. I've sparred them both, but I think Shakur is just defensively more. He's just more there defensively. Teofimo's not a bad fighter. He's a beast, but I'm going to have to go with Shakur in this fight.
Sam Jones nails the uncertainty surrounding Teofimo Lopez's character and decision-making. In situations like this, fans and analysts are left guessing whether a fighter made a calculated gamble or acted recklessly. Shakur Stevenson now faces an opponent whose mindset is unpredictable and whose focus could be compromised. This mental edge cannot be overstated as preparation is everything. Even if Teofimo is physically strong, Shakur Stevenson's discipline and tactical IQ make him the clear favorite in a situation where doubt and controversy are already swirling around his opponent.
So I don't really know what type of person he is. So I can't give my opinion on how he is as a person. So whether he's doing it for fun or whether he's doing it because he's a maniac, I don't know.
George Kambosos' reaction is brutal but justified. In boxing, integrity is everything, and a failed test is a massive stain on a fighter's reputation. Teofimo Lopez is now under scrutiny not just from officials, but from peers and fans worldwide. This controversy adds extra motivation for Shakur Stevenson, who can exploit both the physical and psychological cracks in his opponent. The pressure is squarely on Lopez to answer for his actions, while Shakur Stevenson can remain calm and focused knowing the situation has shifted heavily in his favor.
Test goes through and it goes to VADA. It's going to VADA. It ain't going to get mixed up. So he's done this, and if he's cheated, he's a piece of shit.
Duke McKenzie's frustration reflects what everyone watching this fight is feeling. The fact that both the A and B samples came back positive makes it almost impossible to defend Teofimo Lopez's credibility. This puts Shakur Stevenson in a rare position of advantage even before stepping into the ring. Mental composure is critical in boxing, and facing an opponent mired in scandal gives Stevenson the perfect opportunity to control the pace. Fans are watching a situation where one fighter's mistakes outside the ring are just as telling as the action inside.
This is the point.
How can he give a sample and then a B sample and they both come back positive for a banned substance? It doesn't make any sense.
Liam Goff brings up a key point about dosage and detection, which highlights the complexity of this failed test situation. Teofimo Lopez now faces questions about how long substances remain in the system and what that means for his performance. Shakur Stevenson can capitalize on this uncertainty and remain focused on strategy and defense. Fans know this is not just a physical battle, but a mental one. The credibility gap created by the failed test shifts attention away from Lopez's skills and firmly onto Stevenson's preparedness and composure.
I'm just chucking out there, if depending on the amount, that will depend on how long it remains in your system. So from what I can gather, if you've taken very limited amounts, very little amounts, it could stay in your system, depending on the nature of the test. If it was a saliva test, if it was a urine test, if it was a hair test, it's going to stay in your system a lot longer.
Spencer Oliver's disbelief sums up the chaos surrounding Teofimo Lopez. Having cocaine in your system right before a fight against Shakur Stevenson is unfathomable and casts huge doubts on Lopez's professionalism. This absurd scenario gives Stevenson a psychological edge and allows him to focus purely on boxing without distractions. Fans are witnessing a situation where preparation, discipline, and clean sport stand out while Lopez's mistakes threaten his performance and legacy. Stevenson's poise and skill are only magnified against an opponent so visibly compromised.
Blown away by what it is, recreational drugs, cocaine. You just go, how has that got in your system? He's got some explaining to do for one, and you think with what you had on the line, and with what you was, what was coming up for you, and the opponent you had in front of you, you just go like, cocaine in your system. It's
Gareth A. Davies makes it clear that there is no ambiguity when it comes to banned substances like Osterin. Teofimo Lopez now faces not just the pressure of the fight, but the crushing weight of being caught with a serious performance-enhancing drug in his system. This creates a massive advantage for Shakur Stevenson, who can stay calm and focus purely on the ring. The psychological impact on Lopez cannot be overstated as fans and analysts question every move he makes. In addition to physical preparation, Stevenson now has the mental upper hand, knowing that Lopez is under intense scrutiny and doubt. This situation shifts the spotlight onto Stevenson's discipline and strategy, while Lopez scrambles to justify or explain his actions. In a sport where mental clarity is just as crucial as skill, Stevenson has already gained a huge edge before even stepping inside the ropes.
If you've got it in your system, it's in there. Ostarine has been banned on the World Anti-Doping Agency list, Andy, since 2008. It's a very serious drug. It creates lean muscle mass in the...
Johnny Nelson's perspective is crucial in understanding the larger picture. Even if Teofimo Lopez used banned substances, it does not guarantee he will perform better or outclass Shakur Stevenson. Skill, timing, and mental sharpness are what define champions. And in this situation, Stevenson's intelligence and defensive mastery outweigh any artificial advantages Lopez might have gained. Fans are seeing a clear contrast between a disciplined, focused fighter and one whose actions outside the ring have clouded his performance. This controversy reinforces Stevenson's position as the favorite and highlights Lopez's vulnerabilities. It is a reminder that in boxing, character, preparation, and mental resilience are far more important than any chemical edge, and Shakur Stevenson is in a prime position to exploit every weakness that now surrounds his opponent.
I always say, it don't matter what drugs you take, it doesn't make you a better fighter. It might make you stronger, it might make you fit, it doesn't make you a better fighter. That's proof. You know, so until more news comes out, you just got...
Steven Espinoza captures the frenzy perfectly as the news of Teofimo Lopez's failed test and Shakur Stevenson's attack spreads across social media. The hype is off the charts and fans are debating, dissecting, and speculating on every angle of the controversy. While some argue this could boost pay-per-view numbers, the narrative also heavily favors Stevenson, who is seen as disciplined and in control amidst chaos. Lopez now carries the burden of proving himself while the spotlight highlights his mistakes. Stevenson's reputation as a calm, intelligent, and formidable fighter is amplified against the backdrop of Lopez's drama. This social media storm reflects not just public interest, but the psychological warfare at play. Stevenson can remain focused while the circus around Lopez continues, giving him a unique advantage that goes beyond the physical fight.
Social media is going, absolutely crazy. And usually that does correlate to big pay-per-view, but not always, because there are a lot of times where people are just talking about craziness around a fight.
The chaos surrounding Teofimo Lopez failing a drug test and Shakur Stevenson's heated reaction has set the stage for one of the most intense showdowns in recent boxing history. Stevenson now enters the fight with a massive mental edge, knowing that Lopez is under scrutiny and fighting not just an opponent but the weight of controversy. Every move Lopez makes will be questioned, while Stevenson can focus purely on executing his game plan. Analysts are split on whether Lopez can recover his confidence, but one thing is clear: Stevenson's discipline, defensive skills, and mental toughness make him the favorite. This fight is not just about belts or records, it is about who can handle pressure, who can stay composed, and who truly deserves to win in the face of scandal. Fans are eagerly waiting to see whether Stevenson can turn this drama into a dominant performance, or if Lopez can somehow rise above the chaos and shock the world. One thing is certain: this is a fight that will be remembered for the tension and the skill inside the ring. Are you backing Shakur Stevenson to take control and win decisively, or do you think Teofimo Lopez can overcome the controversy and pull off an upset? Drop your thoughts below.